to my channel. Welcome to Talkinsen. It's me, Ogechi, your favorite Talkinsen person. So, before I begin this video, some time ago last year, I said I wanted to create a name that I would know this community as, so that I know whoever that watches my video will be recognized by this particular name. And I feel I wanted to create a sense of community with this particular platform. So, I decided to find a name for us, and this name has been something I've actually used, but I never clicked in my mind to use it for my community. So from today onwards, when I'm introducing myself and saying it's me, Ogechi, I'm also introducing you guys now as talkies. Okay, what does that mean? Simply, it represents those who watch my video and who are subscribed, and those who like my videos or like my advice giving videos, as well as the fun and everything else I do on my channel. So your nickname now, like how people have different names like besties, friends, favorites, fam, all those things. Mine, it will be talkies. And what does talkie is? Talkie is simply someone who thinks critically, someone who is intelligent, someone who is not afraid to share their opinion, okay? And also it represents someone who is also grounded in who they are, in their self-identity and confidence. So that's what, if you are a talkie, then, and this represents you, please don't forget to like and share this video. Okay, so this advice video is not different from anyone else, any other I've been doing in my channel so far. So hi talkies, I am not going to be calling you guys by this particular name. You are my talkies, in that you are my representatives, you are my little family members. Okay, so hi talkies, welcome to my channel, welcome to Talkinsen. It's me, your favorite girl, Ogechi. So for this video, I shot this video sometime February. However, something happened with the clip and everything got wiped off. So I'm just going to redo it here, just to reiterate what I said and just to ensure that this message is shared, because I think it would help many people. Now, this video is a little bit different in that the video I am doing is actually giving advice about workplace. Well, actually, that's a lie. I give advice about workplace. I've done several videos about like how to handle issues at workplace, and this video is just an addition to those. So this particular video is giving you advice from a first person perspective, as well as other people's viewpoints and advice. So I'm really hoping that I remember everything that I said in my first video that got wiped out. But if I don't, wherever I stopped, all the things I didn't remember, I'll literally put it as a kind of audio record so that you can continue listening. All right, and you can get all the things and the advice I want to give. So talkies, there are so many things that happens to you in workplace that you do not know the reason why it happened. So I'm just going to give you this advice, and I term it as refrain, my beloved, from doing certain things like this, because, oh, should I call you my beloved? I like that as well. So, but don't worry, I say talkies, Talkinsen, okay? So please, oh, if you just don't know, I do have Instagram. Please follow me there. I do post inspirational quotes and just things to motivate oneself, okay, throughout the day. But yeah, do follow me on that as well. So the advice I'm going to do or give to you, first of all, I say refrain because there are certain things that you do in workplace that you may not have known that has impacted on your relationship or things to do with workplace. And this advice is really coming from the depths of my heart, and I always like to share. As I mentioned, if you're a talkie, you are someone that is always willing to share, confident, and also someone that is supportive and helpful. Okay, and everything else I said before. Okay, so can I just say, let's begin. So the first thing I want to give you advice is, when you're going into your workspace, okay, even if you have been in that workplace for donkey years and you're just coming in, or you're just coming in new, don't be shy to be the one that will be the first one to break the ice. Okay, don't be like, literally, when you go into a room, I know some people, they come in and then just sit quietly, and I mean, I do that sometimes, don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes I want to fill the room and you read the room sometimes, you kind of know how to behave. But honestly, where you're like, listen, I just want to break the ice. Don't be afraid to be the one that to say, hey everyone. Doesn't matter if anyone responds or doesn't respond. That's their business. As long as you greeted people. Okay, that's it. Just greet them politely. Where there are more than one person or more than two people, just do the general hi. Trust me, that would really help you in terms of, first of all, it will make you appear friendly. It will make you appear open. Okay, and yeah, just keep a smile on your face the best way you can, if you can. Okay, don't be afraid to do that. This doesn't matter what stage of level of work, even if you're going into the workspace newly or you've been there for years. If you haven't been doing this, do try it. I'm as advising yourself, you guys. I'm also advising myself as well, because it's some sort of daily practice that we all have to do. Okay, to keep harmonious spaces in workspace. Two, always pray for your workplace. Okay, and also pray against anything that will come against you. Okay, pray for your workspace in terms of pray for the success of that environment that you are in. Why are you in a space that is paying you and giving you some sort of leverage in life, whether from allowing you to use your skills, your knowledge, or your intellect to support whatever business that is being promoted there, and then also paying you at the same point. I know we don't see it in that way, but sometimes you have to look at workplace as that positive way. First of all, it's providing us opportunity to interact. It's providing us the opportunity to use our skills, intellect, and knowledge, okay, to help others. And we are getting paid at the same time. Okay, I know we are working for others, but then everyone has to start working for others before they start doing anything. Even in the Bible, if I may go back, Jesus was helping his father, the carpenter, before he started his own ministry. So therefore, everyone has to serve somehow. And he even told us about the service, okay, where on when you read the story of Holy Thursday. So the washing of the feet is what I'm referring. So we all have to serve somehow. Now let's talk about having friendship at workplace. I know many people always say that people at work are not your friend. Actually, I beg to differ. Even if you don't make friends in workplace, there are people that have made lifelong friends in their workspaces. Even if they leave, they still get in touch with those people. Or even if they don't get speak as much, some of them like still support each other in one way or the other. So please don't be fooled to let some people tell you, oh, there's no friend at workplace. Whenever I look at that, I'm like, no, people have built legacy through friendship in workplace, good relationship. The only thing that you have to understand is that you cannot be doing besties every single time in workspace, because one, your relationship can actually affect the productivity of the team. In that, for example, if you are always doing your bestie situation in workplace, you may not even allow room for others to want to come in, and they may feel like they're already left out before they even get to know the dynamic and you people. So obviously how you approach that situation really will be up to you. But don't be afraid to build great relationship in workplace. If you do have someone that you can build that with, if I do have someone I get along with workplace, I have had a very good relationship with my colleague of mine in a previous job. Literally, whatever I was always looking for towards her coming to shift, and so was she always looking towards me coming to shift, because literally when we are in workplace, we laugh, we kiki, we joke, okay, and we see things from a similar viewpoint. Now she wasn't my friend to say, but we were really good work colleagues, and we didn't really go ahead to do certain things that other people did that was not really favorable to us. And literally, even when we saw outside of workplace, we still greeted each other, even hugged. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, I'm telling you people, I want to hear those advice. I'm like, it's not always the case. However, that doesn't mean that you lose all your guard. Okay, please, even if you have a best, even if it's your daughter or your mother you're working with in that workspace, always have your guard up, because remember, in a workspace is a competitive environment. Therefore, if anything changes or shifts somehow, the competitive aspect of those people will come in, and then they'll start competing with you. Okay, and yeah, so things will happen. So always have your boundaries, okay, and always be on guard. But that doesn't mean you can't build great relationship in workplace. Now, another advice I would give when going into workspace is, First of all, refrain if you can. This is if you already don't have this. Refrain from buying a vehicle that is of a higher grade to your senior management. When I mean senior management, I'm looking like your top executive, top boss, even your manager, if I may come down to that. I'll tell you the reason why. So I had this advice from this South Asian man who said this thing that this, I think he gave an example where a particular guy that he worked with or something like that, or he knew, used to drive one kind of car, okay? Let's say it was one of these top quality brand car. I wouldn't, it's not even, it's like, let me just say he was driving a Mustang, or I don't know what to call it. A very big car, one of those, like, not a Mustang. Mustang is not, it's not a big, it's not a big car, is it? Is, let me say, in the field of Ferrari and all those things, Porsche car type of thing. Very expensive car to work. And when it came to promotion, he and raise, he didn't get a raise. And he said, like, once he thought about it, reflected on it and everything, he's like, usually what you're showing them is like almost like, yeah, okay, you're better off than those people. Allow, if you do have a car that is your the only car you have, obviously drive it. That should not be a form of discrimination. But I'm just telling you to be aware of internal biases and discriminations that people have in them. And this is not a case of whether it's just someone being evil or mean. It's just human being. Human being have this jealousy, envy, okay, and internal biases that they can't sometimes overcome. Once again, I say, if you already have these things and you want to look good and present yourself, or listen, don't I say don't back down. Don't be dismayed to purchase the things that you want to purchase to please you. Okay, your personality will always speak regardless. And I even say this because even in my old workplace here, there's this particular woman whose husband gifted her with a, I think it was a Ferrari, one of those old model. I can tell you that literally each week she drove that thing into the workplace. The men always had conversations about this car. Before, I thought it was a case of admiration. However, as I listened deeper and just reflected on the conversations that they had later on as time went on, I realized some of it's not a case of admiration. It's like, it's almost like, I call it internal envy. Obviously, they say, oh, like, I don't know how to put it. Just say it was a topic of conversation, and yes, the things that they were saying was not bad. It wasn't like you would be thinking it was compliments. But if you are someone who is attuned, if you're a talkie, okay, if you're someone who is attuned with intuition and things around you, you understand that that is not really longer a compliment, because it's almost now almost like a form of, I call it brushing and subtle discouragement, or I wouldn't even really put it as bullying, but to almost discourage person from what's it called, driving that car. So basically, the woman ended up not driving that car into the workplace again. And guess what? When she stopped driving that car into the workplace, the conversation stopped. She started driving her old, like, let's say it was a Ford type of car. She started driving that to workplace. So I realized not everyone will be cheering for you, okay, at workplace. I know, like, I'm telling you, you don't know these things, but I'm telling you, once I had that Asian man advice, honestly, I was like, that's their business. It doesn't matter. Like, I thought it was just like a one-off, or maybe the person did something. But until I experienced it from that woman's perspective, I was like, wow, okay, this thing is really real. Understand there is internal biases. I don't even care if your manager is the loveliest person. Do understand it. Even if the manager is rich, when they see that you're also trying to climb up, some of them, not everyone, is able to take in that type of support. But as I mentioned, if your personality like me, I like to look well and dress well, and I'm not going to change that for you because you're someone that likes to look simple. That's not me, okay? I do look simple when I want to look simple, but also know how to look well presented and look after myself. So let's say, for example, a case of person that likes to wear makeup and your manager doesn't, you wouldn't really bother them that much. But an insecure manager can become bothered. Now, let's go into an insecure manager. It is very important that you understand that you do not share your dreams and visions with an insecure manager. I'll tell you the reason, because they may actually start working against you to bring you down. Okay, they may start working against you to ensure that your dreams and vision doesn't come true. I'm telling you this, okay, because I've learned, like, not everyone that you, the same way it's not everyone that you share your goals, visions, and dreams. It's not the same person. It's not everyone. I'm not talking about goals, visions. Even in the workplace, if you have an eye to become the manager one day, don't tell your manager about that until it's time and the right time to hit. Okay, and the opportunity arises for you to want to go into the person's role. How would you feel if someone tells them they want to be in your position? Do you get? So understand timing is more important. Okay, execution of the conversation is very important. So be aware of insecure leaders. Insecure leaders can damage your career ladder. They can damage things in, or put asunder, or put it in your progress at workplace. So, and be careful of who you share your visions and dreams with in workplace, even if it's something not relating to your workplace, even if it's something that outside of your workplace. Not everyone is a cheerleader, so be very careful of that. So again, do not share your success stories and things that you want to do to be better, whether in the company or outside of the company, with an insecure manager. So you need to read the manager that you are working with and know how they take information and know how they work with you. And sometimes, talking about managers, I'll tell you one thing. I had this girl, I think it was on this YouTube platform, that shared her story of how she had two different managers. So it was maybe they were of similar position, but one had maybe a bit of more power than other. Now, one really liked her, whilst the other didn't really care for her. Now, with her situation, she said that because it became conflicting with her own situation, in that this one will give an instruction, when she carries it out, this one is no longer happy with it. And then it was almost like a little bit of battle over her head and stuff like that. I think she became tired of it all and ended up quitting. Because that's why I said you need to be very careful of sharing your things with insecure managers as well, because you just need to understand who you are working for and know how to handle their situation and how to approach and deal with them. And it's not something, don't be ashamed or afraid to even ask them how do they prefer to be worked with, so that you know how to manage yourself. And then another thing I will say, in terms of even workplace, is and actually that even can affect your pay, because one may want to pay you higher and another one will want to pay you lower. And that takes me to a book that I read. I'll show you the book. I actually quite like this book. This book. So this is a book I've read. I don't know if you can, yeah. So I read this book. This book is really good. I enjoyed it. So this book is really a case of a family, a young woman trying to find her feet, and supported his family in doing can I say, in doing well in life to some extent, or finding a way to do well in her life for herself after her parents separated. Now, I think this book is really good, and you can relate to it a whole lot if you are someone who is the first daughter, because she is the first daughter and she had to bear the brunt of responsibility by providing for the family with her father after her mother left them. It's really good. And so it just talked about her working from young age all the way to being able to train to become qualified for something. Journalism she went into later on. So basically, this book is At Home by the Sea, by Pam Weaver. I actually enjoyed this book, really. I think I'll recommend it. I wouldn't do a review on it. There's other books I prefer to do a review on it, but I think there's so much gems and things you can learn from this in terms of managing family dynamics, especially where you have had people who are separated, your family members are divorced or separated, how to manage it, and also build relationship and ensure that both parents um regain harmony and at least talking relationship with each other. Yeah, basically, this book ended so well in that the mother and the father stopped, remarried. They remarried other people and were happy with their own situation. And she ended up marrying the love of her life as well. Um, yeah, it was so good. I enjoyed reading this book, and I think what I even really was able to connect with this book is the case where she wished and prayed that the parents can come back together, and that is usually the thing that any child who has experienced separation in their family would always wish. But then at a point you have to come and accept that this will not happen again, and just accept them for the parents on their own decisions on where they are. So I think this book I'll definitely recommend. If you can find it, do read it. It's really good. It's an old book set in the 19, what was it, 19 something. Let me see what year. Yeah, 1947. From 1947 upwards. So it was quite a good book. Now, talking about this book, I've forgotten the name of the main character now in this book. Let me find it out and then I'll tell you the reason why I said so. Easy, okay? Easy, let's say that's the character in the front. So let's say the character Easy also was employed to look after an old elderly, not elderly woman, an old woman who, due to, I think it was stroke or something like that, health issue, couldn't be mobile again. So she was helping this woman who is a rich woman. And the funny thing, this I was talking about management and people having different views of you. Find the people that are rooting for you in workplace, especially the managers or leaders that are working for you in workplace, and support them the best way you can. Leave the ones that are not rooting for you. Listen, they'll catch up later on if they want to. But if you focus your energy on those who are rooting for you, trust me, the workplace will be good for you, because then they have the reason to stand for you every single time. And the reason again for this is because in this particular book, Izzy was employed in this space of helping this elderly lady to do errands, not do errands, to to support her in whatever she can. But the woman wanted her to just be someone that can support her to be mobile and also write um, books for her. So in this situation, the elderly woman, the old woman that employed her, was paying her. I think you at that time, please, you guys that are of that age or that generation, you will know if how much this would be if it's a lot of money. She was paying her £4. She decided to pay her £4. I think it's per day. If not per day, probably will be per the week. So she probably paying her £4. Yeah, I think it was £4 per day. Let me just say, I can't remember exactly. But she was paying her £4, and at that time the wage was about 80 something p. Hello. 80 something p. Okay, and the person that was employed as a domestic staff there was being paid £2 something. Now the mother-in-law to this old woman was in disagreement to the old woman's pay, what's it called, amount, because he's like, that is more than anyone of her age would get, and this girl was 17 when she started working for this old woman. Do you get? And she's like, she was in disagreement, but the old man stood her ground and said, well, it is my money and I can do what I want to do with it. So she continued paying the girl that wage until I think, if you know, was it £1 a day? I can't, yeah, but I know she was used to earn 80 something p at that time, anyways. But anyways, at that time, it was a huge amount of money that anyone can be paid at that, not just by her age, but by anyone, okay, that wasn't qualified, they only just left secondary school and stuff like that. Basically, it was a lot of money. So this is where I was talking about. Sometimes you don't know what it takes. There's not the conversations that leaders have about you. Therefore, it's really important that you know how to understand who is rooting for you in workplace and focus your energy in supporting those people, or at least not doing anything that make them change their mind. I mean, that's being deliberately doing anything that will go wrong, but sometimes their mind can be swayed and shifted as well without anything that does have to do with you. In that case, you just let them be. Okay, so that is something that you need to learn. Now, going back to this book, this following advice I'll give is refrain from sharing your salary with others unless you feel like you're being paid unfairly. Now I'll tell you what brought me to this. So sometime years ago, I had this woman from the weakest link, you know, the one that started the weakest link, was talking about gender discrimination in pay in workplace. And she said that perhaps the reason why women were being underpaid is because they do not discuss their finances with each other. And if we did discuss our finances with each other, maybe that would help expose the disparities. So in my head, I heard that it's good for us to share, know what each other are getting paid, right? And listen, I took this as a gospel thing to go by and practice. So I went into my workspace. Now, there was a girl that was working with us there. She was actually newly into the team. However, she has been working there for some time. Um, the interesting thing was that I decided to ask her how much she got paid. I think she was taken back by that, or aback. Is it back? Okay. Anyways, by that question. And she didn't really answer it directly, but she just was giving me like this some bombastic side eye why I asked. And then I told her the reason why I was asking. Now, by her reaction, I knew, okay, she don't continue asking other people because okay, because I was honestly, I was going to just ask everyone. I was like, listen, let's just know if these people are paying us fairly, because I was thinking from this woman's perspective, the weakest link woman perspective. I was like, aye, okay, that was a bad move. Thank God I thank God we were the only ones in the office, and that conversation ended there. Okay, I said nothing else. However, I realized it didn't end there. This is later on reflecting, because after that conversation with her, it almost seemed like everyone started asking me about my own um, pay grade, like what band I was, what this, and I was like, I did notice the increase in asking and curiosity about my own as well. And I already discussed that with the girl. Anyways, that's why we were all in the same band, but sometimes when you're in the same band doesn't mean you get paid the same amount. Sometimes, I think. I don't know. But anyways, that's by the way. I was like, I just wanted to know. Like, I was just curiosity because of this woman's video. Wrong move. So it did put like it didn't. Yeah, it just increased, and that obviously I was like, why is everyone asking me? And I was fine sharing because I could care less. Like the band, not obviously the exact pay. I still have sense. Remember, I'm a talkie, right? So, but yeah, the curiosity grew, and just other things happened in the workspace. So I learned my lesson. Don't do that. If you sense a sort of discrimination or disparities in pay, not everyone is willing to share. So you may have to really find someone that you can confide in and ask. Before you take it, if you have issues with your employer, then you can take it over there to the employment uh, people that your heads or the HR group that can look into it for you. But yeah, don't be afraid to look into your own pay. But however, be careful not to share it with or speak about it with others at workplace, because you may end up finding out either they are being paid more or being paid less or stuff like that. I don't know. And don't worry, I know why I'm speaking to you. Ah, that has similar experience where a manager asked me, okay, how much are you getting paid? Because she said she was doing paperwork. Little did I know that was just so wrong to even tell her. Because my head, I was thinking, but you're the one that employed me. You should have known how much the pay rate was and stuff like that. So I was like perplexed a little bit. I was like, but then I answered, wrong move. Do not do that, because what issue brought me afterwards is just crazy. Then the same thing, issues about money now became a problem. So please refrain. At this one, I'm even giving you the advice from a first person's perspective. Please refrain from doing that. Just give them a rough, if you have to give them a rough estimate, ask them, because especially if you're a leader or a manager or whatever, say, you're the one that employed me, so you should know. If they really wanted to know the amount they're getting paid for whatever reason they think they are getting paid, they wanted it for, they can do the research. And that's what I thought later. I'm like, she could have just looked into it herself. Or ask the HR. That's what, like, I was like, shite. Okay, she didn't think. I didn't think. But again, because if it was a colleague, I would not have really answered. But because she was my manager, I was like, oh, I thought it was okay. I was like, yeah, she already knows what's the essence of being private. But little did I know that sometimes some of them may not be the people that set the pay. But also sometimes maybe things have changed in workplace, like your salary increase, they didn't know exact the amount and stuff like that. So if they really want to know, tell them to go to HR. HR will tell them exactly the amount that you're getting paid if they really wanted to know, than having to verbalize it to them. That's my own advice for this particular concern. Now let's go to the next advice. Talking about pay and sharing equally, don't share that. I'll tell you the reason why as well. This book that I just referred to, Easy, as I mentioned, she was getting paid a lot more than the domestic staff there. It did happen that she and the domestic staff became best of friends. This is why I say you can still have a great relationship at workplace, both in the work, both outside, best of friends. So imagine if Easy was going to telling this person before they even became friends or stuff. Even during that whole course of their friendship, there was no mention that she revealed her income to the friend. So neither any of them share their income. So imagine that was this case. It's different when you're working in different spaces of environment. Yeah, not everyone you can share that with. And me, I'm that quite open anyway, somehow, to some extent. I even did this with something with a friend of mine in the past. She answered, and I was happy that she answered. But I just remembered, like, what's it called? The look on her face, though, kind of read differently. So I just became more self-aware of how people view financial. And I find it's more of the women. I don't know how the men will react if I do ask, but not, I think women and speaking about money is not a comfortable topic. So I learned it for myself, and I learned it for other people on not to approach that situation. So refrain, my dear Talkie, of doing this, unless you know exactly and feel very comfortable with the person that you're asking, because there are two things that comes. There's human biases, like be like, oh, she's earning more than me, oh, he's earning lower than me, oh, this and that. And some people can take the advantage of that. That's people that are not of good heart. They can take advantage of that and just misuse it. Now, still going upon this line of not sharing so much about your finance, I'll take it now outside of the workplace and go into the family mode. Refrain, my dear beloved, from telling your family members how much you earn. Unless you are doing it with your partner and you guys are sharing exactly what, like, I'm talking about a partner like your husband, and you both are sharing your family finances and knowing how to plan your family. But when it comes to siblingship and stuff like that, refrain from telling them like the exact amount you earn. You can tell them like what you do and how much you usually earn if there is a need to be that to be known. But please do not do that. I'll tell you the reason why. Is one, if your finance increases, then they'll be expecting you to have more responsibility. If you're in terms of financial contributing financially. Two, if circumstances changes for you, they may like change their own attitude towards you. So just give it general. I would even go further to say that if you are a bank manager in wherever you're working, just tell them you're a bank manager. Now, if you're promoted, there's no need to tell them that you get, what's it called, in terms of financial increase. There's no need to tell them that I'm no longer, like, I have gained a salary increase. This is talking about relatives. I'm telling you for this, and you can relate to it more if you're the type that is supporting your family in terms of finances. Because when they say, auntie is doing more now, auntie can pay us a bit more. Now, if you give them only little, they'll feel like you're being stingy. They'll start having problem with you. So please, I'm telling you, be careful on that type of information that you share, because not everyone will receive it well. Okay, not everybody will receive it well. Don't say, okay, she's not well, will warn you, because if issues happen to you now, guess who they're going to come, what they're going to do? They may start looking down on you. Even some movies have shown us that. Okay, they start looking down on you. Things may change against you. Things may change for you, and they start requesting a bit more. Just keep it as general as you can do it. If you're a surgeon, just say you're a surgeon. It doesn't matter if you're they obviously maybe the field of surgery that you are in. There's no need to be telling them which band of payment that you are as a surgeon. Surgeon is a surgeon. Point. Period. Okay, and that also helps to keep respect. Okay, it does. It protects you in multiple ways than one. Okay, it does help to keep respect and also keep relationship in good harmonious way. So that is my own advice. Please refrain from doing that. And that even brings me back to the book I just told you about, At Home by the Sea by Pam Weaver. You know this lady, when she used to have, if because she used to earn, as I mentioned, 80 something p, and was contributing to the family, in that her father told her like you have to pay your way through life, and she had to contribute to the family. Guess what? She had a younger sibling, yeah. Her younger sibling's money was never taken from her to contribute to the family. Her younger sibling uh used that money on herself. Only her money was taken to add to the dad's money to feed the family and do upkeep. And the dad knew what he was doing. And guess what? When he told the dad that okay, she's not getting paid this huge increased amount of money, guess what the dad did? Slash that money that she was getting paid to uh towards the family upkeep. So she had to now contribute a whole lot more, which really annoyed her because she was trying to save money to be able to train herself as well and do other things for herself and even possibly leave the house. But she had no money. So the savings that she was having then started dwindling a little bit. Okay. And she found it difficult to even get by with the little that she was getting. So I am just telling you, my dear talkies, please and pretty please, refrain sometimes, find a way around it if you can, okay, to sharing this sensitive information, because he may just come back to haunt you. But if it's a case where it's going to help you in terms of, let me mention about pay disparities, let's say within the workspace or any other place that pays you, then at least you can get corrected and things can happen for you, right? And then the discrimination or inequality can be addressed. But as I mentioned, each to their own. Use your senses, use your mind. Okay? So that's the first advice I'll give you. So not the first advice. That's like another advice I will give you. I'll give you multiple advice. I can't even. All right, guys. Before I continue, I'm just coming here to pick up some stuff for the house, and yeah, I'll continue with the video. I'll continue with the video later. I don't even have enough space, but sorry. I'll continue with the video later, but I'm coming just to pick up some stuff. Yeah. See you guys soon. I don't know where it is. Oh, I think it's over here. So, I am looking for one particular thing. Okay. So, trying to do a bit of DIY. So, I'm gonna, and to revamp my house. So, I'm coming to just pick up some stuff. I hope I can find it. Okay. So I've got, yeah. Oh, I'm going to have to ask a staff member to see if I can find. I need to find a staff member to ask, see if I can find what I'm looking for. I'm every woman is all in me. Come on, baby. Let's do it naturally. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thinking what color to use. I'm torn between using either green or pink. What is the pink one? Or pink. Because I'm not sure which one will work best. I only need small amounts. I want to just change up some stuff. It's kind of boring. I don't know. One color everywhere. Alright, I'll make the decision later. Alright, see you later. Another advice I would give is to find a way to get along with a troublemaker in your workplace. It would help you in the work long run. There's a reason why they are there. Just what I mean, get along, just base, like, if you can't keep your distance from them, just find a way to get along with that person for the sake of workspace and your payments. I've learned as I grew older, sometimes some things people do, I just ignore some things because I know why I'm there. I'm there for the money, right? I also there for other things to use my day. I also know, like, I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, you're not going to affect my pay. That's literally what I tell myself. So people who say and do so many things to you, and if you understand your full purpose of being in that workplace, then you know how to navigate through it. Okay, don't just getting along. I'm not saying be friends with them, just get along with them. I'll tell you the reason why. One, it will look good on you, because then your other colleagues can see that, okay, yeah, she can, the person is a bit mature, and the also person can like do this thing. Obviously, don't let I say boundary. I always say boundary. Understand how to put boundaries in place. Getting along means don't mean start kicking and laughing with them and behaving as if you don't know who they are. Laugh, being in culture, I don't know, is it culture, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Relationship with people or having a good rapport with people simply has all to do with being friendly and being nice, responding, talking to them when need be. And it will also make you even feel happy being in their presence. Even if you have issue with them, please don't be afraid to do that. Pleasantry actually it just showcases who you are. It shows your qualities and your characters. Okay, and even thinking about all these things now, I think I'm coming to a conclusion. I hope I remember everything I said before. Okay, someone I remember, see, particular guy, the podcaster, I've forgotten the podcaster, Ned. See, Ned, not Ned, Nedu from Honest Bunch. I remember he said this. He said there was a dry cleaner. I think it was a dry cleaner. I can't remember the dry cleaner. He was giving an example, not on his channel, not on the Honest Sponge. And, and this was on Facebook, I believe. Anyways, he was giving on an advice, and he was talking about he started with this as, Nigerians are so wicked. And then he went on to explain there was a particular, oh no, think about me, he was on the Honest Bunch or something like that, I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, he was like, oh, there was a particular man, yeah, that I think he used to do some sort of laundry or something like that. I can't remember, laundry, or at least something to do with clothing, any, for this particular rich man, or car service or something like that. Car wash, I don't even remember. And then as the man grew, the man used to look after her. The particular rich man, also for Nigeria, used to look after him and, give him tips and do well for him and stuff like that. And he always goes to collect his clothes and stuff like that to do laundry and wash for him. Let's say he was a dry cleaner, just give an example, as I can't remember exactly the job the man he said he was doing. Now it happened that this dry cleaner worked his way up and was able to afford wealth for himself and start doing well for himself. And then in appreciation of all the things that he did, he got, and also the people that helped him along the way, he called this particular man that always used to look after him and stuff like that and give him job and stuff like that to come and see what he has achieved and what he has gained. And yeah, when the man saw, like, this man was doing way too well for himself at this portion, the man, according to Nedu, said refrained from continuing to support this dry cleaner. I think that it's almost like he don't do this job and stuff like that. I said to myself, that is not someone being wicked. That's showing you human capacity. This is what I see. This is why I gave different examples, of how employers can look at things, Yeah, be careful. Even if they're asking you, and they just be giving poverty story if need be. Not poverty story. Don't give poverty story because it may keep you on the inferior side or thing. But like, just a story that matches. Like, tell them how good you may be. Sometimes some managers can be, depending on the person, they can be impressed by, let me say, your family background, your quality thing. But this comes with liking. If you don't like it, whatever you say anyways would not even make sense to them. it wouldn't register in their head. So yeah. So basically, I said that's not wickedness. That's normal human thing. Last said to myself, imagine it. Okay, the people that you're working that works for you in that podcast, all of them start down driving. Let me say, what was this? Let's say Porsche car. Yeah, and you're still driving your, let me say, Mercedes Benz of the, let's say, even if it's of old model. How would you feel? How would you feel? How would you see yourself? So I was like, yeah. So I just gave all these examples. I was like, let's be understanding of human biases. As once you understand human biases and in the way they work with things, you understand how to relate with them much better. So that is definitely how they say that's not wickedness. That's literally human being telling you what human being does when they see other people progressing more than them. So that is very important to know who to share your success with, and how to go about that. That even takes me to another story before I conclude, of this particular woman sharing, I think it was Instagram, of a woman told her colleagues of her husband's business doing so well and stuff like that. And it ended up that the woman, when they were doing pay increase, they skipped her because they thought she didn't need the money. I'm like, how does that relate? Do you get? That is, she's talking about her husband and his business, not her workplace. But this. I mean, that one you can call it discriminatory, but this is, unfortunately, that's human being for you. So yeah, in that situation, you would definitely, yeah, ensure that you do not share so much information. If you're doing well, like, some people don't take it well. There are some people that will hear that and just really congratulate you and even look up to you as a role model and inspiration, and even help you along the way. This is what I call secure people, and people that are of positive, good energy. And imagine, like, I already share stories where I was giving advice on young people, where someone got beat up for having what they other people viewed as a nice house. People that have nice things, people get robbed for it. Like, there's so many jealousy of people. Yeah, once you don't understand the spirit of envy, and once you understand the spirit of envy and jealousy, you really know that human beings are just crazy somehow. Okay, so that's another thing I would say. Yeah, so refrain from these things. And what do you do after this? Your refrain, once you've been able to understand your environment, then work accordingly to what it is. As I mentioned, like, if you're already the person that has these things and you have, like me, I like good things. So when I'm not going to down my ability to have nice things just because you don't like nice things, or you can't afford nice things. That will not happen. That will not happen to me. If anything, you don't even know. Do you know how I suffered to get that thing? That right? Exactly. No one knows. So I do those things for myself. And then yeah, I think that's literally the advice I would give. And then finally, when you go to an interview, if I just add this, quite frankly, is do your best. The best, obviously, everyone does their best. But the reason why I say do your best, because you don't know who the interviewer knows in the field of workplace. Even if they don't give you the job, don't be rude, dress appropriately, do everything right. Even if they don't give you the job, put your best foot forward, because you don't know who they know in the field of work. Because these people can be friends in another company. It's like I saw this thing of showing how Igbo men have like multiple businesses. One, like, when a customer thinks they've left this person's first shop, they go to the next shop, it's still the same person. They go to the next shop, it's still the same person. Little do you know, sometimes you don't know the chain of commands. You know that sometimes some people, they have friends of the friends in the higher places, or in the other places that you're going to go. Huh? My dear, that's why I say do well, okay? And also do well if you know, okay, to receive I would say feedback, in that if they give you feedback, receive it. Okay, take it as what it is, feedback. Okay, and feedback has helped me in the past, okay, to be able to gain a new employment, because now I knew what I was doing wrong in the interview, and was able to correct it and was successful in the next interview. So yeah, so do well, because sometimes these people are connected. Remember, leadership are not in leadership on their own. They have a whole bang of people on their own, because they know what they go through in life. So please do well to do that. I also have done a bit of a leadership talk when I was talking about my experience of trying to host a youth conference, and how it is to just lead and ensure things work well for that particular purpose. So I will post it as well as this video soon. So do be well sure to tune in. And if you like these videos, my talk is, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe, as I believe some of these advices are things that you may not have heard before, or maybe it's things that you've heard and never clicked. But I'm just here to tell you, these things are actually things that happen in real life. Sometimes you do not know, you just discover them years later on. Okay. Hi guys, sorry, I am back. Okay, so I'm just going to complete this video here. I'm just standing here, just came to do other stuff. This is now. Okay, so and a little bit of shopping mall, so I'm just going to complete this video here. Just to complete the video that I was talking about, I don't know why my camera cut off. The battery died, so I'm just using this phone to finish it. So basically what I was saying is, first of all, be careful not to share so many things that you know in the workspace. If you're sharing about your family, be careful to share what needs to be known and what don't need to be known, don't need to be known. So don't share that. Even talking about family, there are times where it's important and it can be helpful. So for example, I had a person that I knew, and she informed me that because she talked about her husband and they saw that she was married, and obviously the way she speaks about her family must have been very, very enticing, that one of her colleagues, a male colleague of a different race, and this is someone coming from Africa as well, so I mentioned this is some based Africans, from African to African, some things that you may not know. She herself was able to inspire the person through her own marriage tales, and the fact that just in the conversations that they had, to actually marry his long-term girlfriend. Okay, he ended up proposing to her and eventually marrying the girl. So there are times when you can even inspire other people by your storytelling. The only thing I'm sharing here is to be careful. The last part I wanted to share is when you are so on that note, signing off, Talkinsen. Thank you to my talkies. Bye.
Mistake, or else it is relevant. Please do not share your former positions or your former achievements with your co-workers or your boss. When I came over here, I was quick to tell people that, oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm this, and believe it or not, a lot of people didn't like it. And guess what most people will do? They will go above and beyond to make you know that they're better than you now. Some of these nurses put me through the trenches. They wait for me to come back from break to clean poop. They gave me the most degrading job ever. Like, as I'm doing some certain tasks, I cry. Then the way they talk to you, just because you've mentioned that, oh, I used to be a bank manager, oh, I used to make this amount of money, oh, I'm a PhD student, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm a doctor, oh, I was a nurse in my country before I came to America and started from the scratch. Do not make that mistake. I don't know whether to call it jealousy or a complex issue. They're just going to make your life miserable. They're just going to let you know that, irrespective of what you are, right now, I'm better than you.